Ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you today that I believe can transform how we approach our lives. Don't tell your problems to people, not because they don't care, but because your energy, your power, your resilience is far greater than any problem you face. Here's the thing. When we constantly share our challenges with others, we're not seeking solutions, we're seeking validation. We're giving away our power. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't ask for help when you truly need it, but telling everyone about your troubles doesn't change your situation, it amplifies it. Now, think about that for a moment. Every one of us has faced challenges. We've all been through moments where we felt like giving up, like the weight of the world was just too much to carry. Maybe you've struggled with finances, maybe you faced the heartbreak of a broken relationship, or maybe you've been in a place where self-doubt and fear took over. But let me tell you this, those struggles, as real and painful as they may be, are not who you are. They are simply moments in time, and moments pass. What truly matters is not the adversity itself, but how you rise from it. How you respond to the darkness is what illuminates your true essence. You are not your failures. You are not the things that didn't go right. You are the power that rises each time you fall. You are the determination that refuses to let setbacks become permanent defeats. Too often we let our challenges consume us. We start to believe that because life is hard, we are somehow less worthy, less capable, less deserving of success and happiness. We allow the difficulties we encounter to seep into our sense of self-worth, and before we know it, we're carrying the burden of not just the problem, but also the identity we've attached to it. We tell ourselves, I am my failure, I am my struggle. But hear me now, that is not your truth. The truth is, each challenge is a test. Each hardship is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. Imagine the most precious diamond. It doesn't start out that way. It starts as a piece of coal, dark and rough. But through intense pressure and heat, it becomes something beautiful, something that shines. You are that diamond. The pressure you feel today is shaping you into something brilliant, something resilient, something extraordinary. What if, instead of letting your hardships define you, you let them refine you? What if, instead of carrying your struggles like heavy chains, you use them as stepping stones toward your greater self? Imagine the power in that shift. Imagine taking control of your narrative and saying, yes, this is hard. Yes, I've been through pain, but this is not who I am. I am more than this. When you make that shift, when you decide that no struggle will break you, you step into your true power. You become unstoppable. Now, I'm not saying life will always be easy. We all won't be. But I am saying that every challenge you face is preparing you for something greater. The universe is working in your favor even when it doesn't feel like it. And when you understand that, when you truly believe that the struggles are temporary and the lessons are lasting, you will begin to see yourself in a whole new light. Think about the moments in your life when you've overcome something you never thought you could. Maybe it was a loss that broke your heart or a failure that shook your confidence. In that moment, you probably felt like the world was falling apart. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still moving forward. And I want you to acknowledge the strength it took to get here. That strength is you. That perseverance is you. And that power is yours to claim every single day. There's a quote that resonates deeply with me. You don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. Falling into hardship, into struggle is a part of life. It's inevitable. But staying there, letting yourself sink deeper and deeper, that's a choice. And today I'm asking you to choose something different. I'm asking you to choose to rise. There is a fire inside you that cannot be extinguished by the storms of life. There is a purpose in you that no failure, no setback, no struggle can erase. But it's up to you to tap into that fire, to trust in that purpose, to stand tall even when life tries to bring you to your knees. It's up to you to remember that the power is always in your hands. Let me share something else with you. We often compare ourselves to others, don't we? We look around and see people who seem to have it all together, who seem to be flying through life with no problems, no struggles. And we think, why isn't my life like that? What's wrong with me? But let me tell you, nobody has it easy all the time. Everyone you admire, everyone you think is living a perfect life has faced battles you know nothing about. The difference is they didn't let those battles define them. They decided to write their own story. And that's what I want you to do today. Write your own story. Not the story of your problems, not the story of your setbacks, but the story of your strength. The story of how you rose above. The story of how you chose not to let life's difficulties harden you, but instead allow them to make you more compassionate, more understanding, more determined. When you change the way you see your struggles, you change the way you see yourself. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? Every setback, every disappointment, every tough moment has a lesson in it. And when you learn that lesson, you elevate, you evolve, you become the version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this, you are more powerful than your circumstances. You are more powerful than your past, more powerful than your failures, and more powerful than any obstacle in your path. But you have to believe that. You have to stop letting your struggles dictate your future. You have to stop giving them the power to define who you are. The next time life knocks you down, and trust me, well, don't let it keep you there. Get back up, dust yourself off, and remind yourself that this moment does not define you. This struggle is just a chapter in your book, not the whole story. And oh, what a beautiful story you're going to write. A story of triumph, of growth, of unwavering belief in yourself. Remember, it's not the fall that matters, it's the rise. It's not the storm that defines you. It's how you weather it. And you, my friend, are capable of weathering any storm. You are capable of rising higher than you ever thought possible. So the next time you face a challenge, instead of saying, why me? Say, watch me rise above this. Watch me turn this pain into power. Watch me prove to myself and the world that I am more than my circumstances. Watch me show up for my life fully and fearlessly, no matter what comes my way. Let's take a moment to acknowledge something important. You are here. Despite everything you've been through, you are still standing. That means that every single struggle you faced, you have survived. Every challenge you've encountered, you have overcome in some way. Maybe it wasn't pretty, maybe it wasn't easy, but you did it. And that, my friends, is the proof of your resilience. That is the evidence that nothing, no matter how big or overwhelming, has the power to break you unless you allow it to. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that it's wrong to feel defeated sometimes. We all do. We all have moments when we're on the floor, wondering how we'll ever get up again. But it's what happens after those moments that truly matters. It's what happens when you decide to get up anyway, when you decide to fight back even when the odds are against you. Your struggle is a part of your story, but it is not the end of your story. Think about it. If you were reading the novel, would you stop at the chapter where everything goes wrong? No. You would keep reading because you know that the protagonist is going to figure it out. You know they're going to find a way through the darkness, find a way to solve the problem, to defeat the villain, to overcome the odds. And guess what? You are the protagonist of your own story. Don't stop reading now. Don't stop believing in your own power to change the narrative. You see, the real magic happens when you start to trust yourself, when you start to realize that every struggle is shaping you, molding you, refining you into the person you're meant to be. We don't grow in comfort, we grow in discomfort. We don't find our strength when everything is going smoothly. We find it when life challenges us to dig deep, to push beyond what we thought was possible. Think about the strongest people you know. Think about the people you admire, the people who inspire you. I guarantee that they have faced their own share of struggles. The difference is they didn't let those struggles become their identity. They didn't let failure define them. They decided, this is not where my story ends. This is where I rise. When you start to see struggles as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, your whole life changes. You begin to realize that every hardship is here to teach you something. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you perseverance. Maybe it's teaching you to trust yourself, to believe in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. But it is teaching you. And when you embrace that, when you accept that life's challenges are not meant to destroy you, but to build you, you step into a whole new level of power. There's something I want you to take away from this today, something I want you to carry with you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. Life may throw challenges your way, but how you respond to them is up to you. You can choose to let them break you, or you can choose to let them make you stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. When you start to see struggles as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, your whole life changes. You begin to realize that every hardship is here to teach you something. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you perseverance. Maybe it's teaching you to trust yourself, to believe in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. But it is teaching you. And when you embrace that, when you accept that life's challenges are not meant to destroy you, but to build you, you step into a whole new level of power. There's something I want you to take away from this today, something I want you to carry with you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. Life may throw challenges your way, but how you respond to them is up to you. You can choose to let them break you, or you can choose to let them make you stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. There are moments in our lives when we feel like the world is crumbling around us, moments when everything we thought we could rely on seems to fall apart, and in those moments, it's so easy to feel powerless, to feel like you're losing control, like nothing will ever be okay again. But here's the thing, even when everything on the outside feels uncertain, there is something inside you that remains unshakable. It's easy to look at the people we admire, the people who seem to have it all together, and think they must have something I don't. We tell ourselves that they're stronger, they're smarter, they've got more resources, more support, more opportunity. But I'm here to tell you today that the very thing you think they have, the very thing you believe you lack is already within you. You don't need anyone else to hand you your power. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're capable, because deep down you already know it. Now, some of you may be thinking, but you don't know what I've been through. You don't know how many times I've fallen, how many times I've tried and failed, how many times I felt like I just couldn't get back up. And you're right, I don't know your specific story, but I do know this. Every single one of us has faced trials that felt impossible at the time. Every single one of us has been knocked down by life, whether it's by heartbreak, loss, disappointment, or sheer exhaustion from trying to keep it all together. And yet, here we are. The fact that you're here today, listening to these words, tells me everything I need to know about you. It tells me that you've got something inside of you that refuses to give up, no matter how hard things get. It tells me that even when you've been knocked down, even when you felt like you were at your lowest, you found a way to keep going. And that, my friends, is the very essence of strength. There is a force within you that is greater than any challenge you will ever face. I want you to let that sink in for a moment. There is something inside you that is bigger, more powerful, more enduring than the tough storm life can throw at you. And the most beautiful part of all of this, that strength is yours, and it always has been. It's not something you have to earn. It's not something that someone else can give you or take away. It's yours. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but I don't feel strong right now. I don't feel like I have anything left to give. And that's okay. We've all been there. We've all had moments where we feel like we've hit rock bottom, where the weight of everything's too much to bear. But I want to remind you of something. You have survived every single one of your hardest days. Think about that for a moment. Every single challenge you thought would break you, every single moment you thought you couldn't get through, you did. You found a way. You figured it out. And you'll do it again. So often we look outside of ourselves for validation. We look to others to tell us that we're strong, that we're capable, that we're enough. But what happens when the people we rely on aren't there? What happens when the support we've always counted on isn't available? That's when you have to turn inward. That's when you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I've got this. I may not have all the answers right now, but I trust that I have what it takes to figure it out. And let me tell you, you do have what it takes. You've always had it. Life may have knocked you down, but it has never taken away your strength. Life may have tried to make you believe that you aren't enough, but that's not the truth. The truth is you were born with everything you need to overcome whatever comes your way. You see, we all have this incredible ability to bounce back, to rebuild, to rise again after we've been broken. But the key is believing in that ability, believing in yourself. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's not about being fearless all the time. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength to get through it. It's about trusting that you have within you the power to navigate whatever life throws your way. We live in a world where it's easy to feel like we're constantly being judged, constantly being measured by standards that don't even make sense half the time. We're told we need to be perfect, that we need to have it all together, that we need to always be on top of our game. But let me tell you something, strength is not about never falling. Strength is about getting back up every single time you do. It's about choosing to keep going even when you don't know what the next step looks like. It's about trusting that no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you have the power to rise again. There is no magic formula for getting through tough times. There's no shortcut, no easy way out. But there is something you can always rely on yourself. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. And the moment you start to believe that, the moment you stop waiting for someone else to save you, is the moment everything changes. Let me tell you something about difficult times. They don't last forever. They may feel like they will in a moment, but nothing is permanent. The one constant, the one thing you can always count on is your ability to keep moving forward. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know exactly how you're going to get through what you're facing. But what you do need to know is that you will get through it. You have everything you need to figure it out. You have within you the capacity to adapt, to learn, to grow, and to overcome. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come from the moments when we feel like we've reached our limit, when we think we can't go on, when we feel like we've given everything we have. That's often when we discover just how powerful we truly are. That's when we tap into a strength we didn't even know existed. But the key to unlocking that strength is belief. You have to believe that it's there, even when you can't see it. You have to trust that no matter how dark things may seem right now, you have the light within you to guide yourself through it. You are not defined by your circumstances. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by how you choose to respond to the challenges in your life. And I want to remind you of something. You have the choice to rise. You have the choice to get back up, to keep going, to refuse to let life setbacks keep you down. Life is going to throw things at you that you never expected. It's going to test you, challenge you, push you to your limits. But every single time that happens, you have a choice. You can choose to let it break you, or you can choose to let it build you. You can choose to see the obstacles in front of you as roadblocks, or you can choose to see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, to become stronger. The power you have within you is limitless. And I don't say that lightly. I mean it with every ounce of my being. You are capable of things you haven't even imagined yet. But in order to tap into that power, you have to believe in it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that no matter what comes your way, you have what it takes to handle it. Now, I know that's not always easy. I know there are times when it feels like life is just too much, when the challenges seem too big, too overwhelming. But those are the moments when you have to dig deep, when you have to remind yourself of all the times you've overcome before. Look at your own track record. You've been through hard things before and you've made it through. You are still standing. And that means you can do it again. We all have moments of doubt. We all have moments when we question whether we're strong enough, whether we're capable enough. But those doubts don't define you. They're just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. You have the power to change the narrative. You have the power to rewrite the story you tell yourself. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, start focusing on what you can do. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, start focusing on the possibilities. We all have those moments when we feel like giving up, moments when we question whether we have anything left to give. And in those moments, it's so tempting to throw in the towel, to surrender to the weight of it all. But I want to challenge you to do something different. I want to challenge you to dig deep, to find that part of yourself that refuses to quit, that refuses to give up no matter how hard things get. That part of you is there, even if it feels far away sometimes. It's there waiting for you to believe in it, waiting for you to tap into it. Think about the most difficult times in your life, the moments when you were at your lowest, when you thought you couldn't go on. And now look at yourself. You made it through, you survived, you came out the other side. Maybe you didn't come out unscathed, maybe you've got a few scars, a few bruises, but you're still here. And that means something. That means you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. That means you are capable of more than you think. So many of us spend our lives looking outside of ourselves for validation, for reassurance that we are enough, that we are strong, that we are capable. But here's the truth. No one else can give you what you're looking for. No one else can hand you your resilience. It's something you have to claim for yourself. It's something you have to believe in even when the world is telling you otherwise. Believing in your own resilience is not about pretending that everything is perfect. It's not about denying the challenges you're facing or the pain you're feeling. It's about acknowledging those challenges, feeling that pain, and still choosing to move forward. It's about knowing that even when life knocks you down, you have the power to get back up. Every setback, every disappointment, every failure is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger. But in order to see it that way, you have to shift your perspective. You have to stop viewing challenges as things that are meant to defeat you and start seeing them as things that are meant to build you. When you start to believe in your own resilience, something magical happens. You stop being afraid of failure. You stop being afraid of the unknown, because you know deep down that no matter what happens, you have the power to figure it out. You have the power to adapt, to learn, to grow, and to overcome. And that, my friends, is freedom. And that is true power. I want you to think about the people you admire most in this world. Think about the people who inspire you, the people who seem to radiate strength, confidence, and grace no matter what life throws their way. I guarantee you every single one of those people has faced their own share of challenges. They've been knocked down. They've felt lost. They've questioned themselves. But what sets them apart is their belief in their own resilience. They've made the choice over and over again to get back up. They've made the choice to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead was unclear. And that's a choice you can make too. Every single day, you have the power to choose how you respond to the challenges in your life. You can choose to let them defeat you, or you can choose to let them make you stronger. You can choose to see yourself as a victim of your circumstances, or you can choose to see yourself as a powerful, resilient force of nature, capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. I know it's not always easy to believe in yourself. I want to leave you with a thought that might be difficult at first, but when embraced, can change the way you face your challenges and empower you to step into your own strength. Today, we live in a world where it's so easy to seek validation from others, to look for reassurance and comfort in sharing every difficulty we face. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for yourself, the most transformative act, is to hold your own challenges close, to keep them as part of your inner strength, and to resist the urge to tell everyone about the weight you're carrying. I want to talk to you about the power of silence, about the strength in not sharing every struggle, every problem with the people around you. There's a lesson I've learned over the years, and it's one I want to share with you now. That lesson is simple. Don't tell your problems to everyone. Not because your problems aren't important, not because they don't matter, but because sharing them with people who can't help or don't truly understand can dilute the power that comes from solving them on your own. It's human nature to want to share our burdens, to want someone to listen, to validate our feelings. But I've come to understand that not every ear is a safe place for your heart to rest. Not every person is equipped to carry your struggles with you. And sometimes the act of telling others about your problems doesn't actually lighten the load, it just spreads it out, making it feel even heavier. Now, don't get me wrong. There's value in community and having trusted people in your life who support you, who can offer guidance when you need it. But not everyone is meant to walk that path with you. There are some journeys that are meant to be walked alone. There are some battles that require you to draw on your own strength, to sit with your pain, your confusion, your doubts, and find your way through them without leaning on the opinions and perspectives of others. When you tell everyone your problems, you open yourself up to a multitude of opinions, interpretations, and judgments. And let's be honest, sometimes the advice you get doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't feel right, or it adds more confusion to an already difficult situation. You see, other people's perspectives are shaped by their own experiences, their own limitations, their own fears. When you seek validation from the outside world, you may inadvertently adopt those limitations, those fears as your own. But when you keep your challenges within yourself, when you allow yourself to sit with them, to explore them, to understand them fully, you tap into a well of wisdom that only you have access to. You are the expert on your own life. You are the one who knows what you're truly capable of, even when you doubt it. And sometimes the quiet space you create for yourself is where the answers live. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Oprah, it's hard to carry these burdens on my own. It's hard to not share what I'm going through. And I hear you, I understand that. We all need support, we all need love, and there is a place for that. But what I'm talking about is something deeper. It's about recognizing that not every problem needs to be shared. Not every struggle needs to be laid out for the world to see. Some things are meant to be handled between you and your spirit. Some challenges are meant to be the fire that forges your strength, not the fire that you ask others to put out for you. When you stop telling everyone your problems, you start to reclaim your power. You begin to understand that the answers you're seeking don't come from outside of you, they come from within. The world around you will always have opinions, will always have something to say about your situation, but those opinions are not your truth. They are not the roadmap to your healing. Your healing comes from within. Your clarity comes from within. There is something so powerful in sitting with your own problems and allowing yourself the space and time to figure out what's really going on inside of you. When you stop rushing to tell others, you give yourself the gift of introspection. You give yourself the opportunity to understand not only the problem, but also the lesson that it's trying to teach you. Every challenge you face has something to offer you, something to reveal about who you are and what you are capable of. And here's the beautiful thing. When you stop telling everyone your problems, you start to build a deeper relationship with yourself. You start to trust yourself more. You start to believe in your own ability to navigate the rough waters of life. You become more resilient, more self-assured. You realize that you don't need external validation to know that you're on the right path because you've cultivated a deep, unshakable trust in your own inner wisdom. Now, I'm not saying you should never talk about your challenges. I'm not saying you should bottle everything up inside and never share your feelings. What I'm saying is that there is a difference between seeking support and seeking validation. There is a difference between confiding in someone who truly understands you and seeking approval or sympathy from people who don't have the capacity to support you in the way you need. Sometimes, when we tell people about our problems, what we're really doing is seeking permission to feel what we're feeling. We want someone to say, yes, you're right to feel this way. Yes, you're justified in your pain. But you don't need permission to feel what you're feeling. You don't need someone else to validate your experience. Your feelings are valid because they're yours. Your pain is real because you're the one living through it. So instead of telling everyone about your problems, I challenge you to sit with them, to trust yourself enough to know that you can handle this, to believe in your own strength and your own resilience. You've gotten through difficult times before, and you will get through this one too. The answers you're seeking are not out there in the world, they're inside of you. When you stop telling everyone about your problems, you create space for solutions to emerge. You create room for clarity, for insight, for growth, and most importantly, you create an opportunity to connect with the deepest, most powerful part of yourself, the part that knows what to do, the part that is capable of handling anything life throws your way. There's something so empowering about solving your own problems. There's something deeply fulfilling about knowing that you didn't need anyone else to tell you what to do because you figured it out on your own. You trusted yourself. You believed in yourself. And that, my friends, is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. So the next time you're tempted to tell everyone about what you're going through, I want you to pause. I want you to ask yourself, why am I sharing this? What do I hope to gain from this conversation? Am I seeking validation or am I seeking a solution? And if the answer is that you're looking for someone to tell you that you're okay, that you're going to be all right, I want you to know that you don't need someone else to tell you that. Because you already know it deep down. You are okay. You are going to be all right. You have the strength within you to handle whatever life throws your way. You don't need to tell everyone about your problems to prove that you're strong. Your strength is in the way you carry yourself, in the way you show up for your own life day after day, even when it's hard. Your strength is in the way you keep going, even when the road is rough, even when the path ahead is unclear. So I encourage you to trust yourself, to believe in your own ability to navigate the challenges you're facing. You don't need to tell everyone about your problems to find the answers. The answers are already within you. And when you stop telling everyone about your struggles, when you start trusting yourself to figure it out, you will discover a well of strength and resilience that you never knew you had. So the next time you find yourself wanting to tell someone about your problems, I challenge you to pause, to take a deep breath, and to ask yourself, can I handle this on my own? Can I find the answer within myself? And more often than not, the answer will be yes. Because you are strong, you are resilient, you are powerful. And you don't need anyone else to tell you that you already know it. Thank you.